Welcome to the Epic Gaming Night Podcast, a podcast about the stories and relationships board games create. I'm your host, Roy Canny, and with me as always is Rob. Yeah, we're sad. Matt is not with us tonight. He has been contracted by the sickness. Patient zero. Yeah, my wife is also sick. What's going on around there? Whoa. Oh, it's the flu. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow, that's rough. Is it just like a certain strain that's just hitting everybody super hard? Yeah. Everybody's got to get their shots. It's interesting. I mean, I feel you, but you still got the flu anyway? Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Can they not hear you? Hold on. Let me just stop this thing. Welcome to the Epic Gaming Night Podcast, a podcast about the stories and relationships board games create. I'm your host, Roy Canny, and with me as always is Rob. You're faking this time, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. I'm faking this time.
Awesome.
I thought that would have been funny, though.
We had to restart the podcast because of sound issues. But, yeah, we're definitely missing Matt this week. We were just talking about how the flu's hit everything.
Yes. And for those that don't know, because you couldn't hear my whole thing, flu virus is really bad in our area. So, babies, can you hear men now? Sorry, I meant to say me, not men. But, yeah, I'm not sick. Matt is sick, and he's a adorable baby. But how are you guys? How's chat? How's Roy? Does it feel like you're official Florida yet?
I technically now have a Florida driver's license, so I think it is now official Florida. And let me tell you, that was a pain in the neck. Trying to. Yeah. The driver's license was okay, but it was a long wait. But then we went to the tags place, and that was like a nightmare. Because, like, literally a kid passed out in line waiting to get tags, and they had to call an ambulance to, like, get him out of there. Like, while I was at the tags place. And then I'm like, I feel like I'm going to pass out up in this place. But no, it was good. We got the license stuff taken care of, and now the HOA isn't going to tow our cars, which is a plus.
Sweet.
We had a meeting with the HOA lady, and she's just like, we know you're new and everything, but we might tow your cars. It happens to a lot of new people. I'm just like, but can't you just, like, you know, not?
Yeah. It's never fun to get towed or anything like that, and so yeah, I'm glad you're not going to get towed. Sorry. Now my clients and stuff are starting to text me because I guess they know I'm sitting down.
That you now have audio on your stream, so they're like, oh, now I got to text Rob.
Oh, now, yeah, they're like, hey, we have a board game question. How do you get such and such due diligence based off of this, blah, blah, blah. And it's like,
Get all the money.
Roy does have me wanting also to get a 3D printer this week as well.
Dude, I've been 3D printing like crazy.
Yes, like a madman.
And I keep posting stuff. I have had some failed prints and things, but majority of the time when that's happened, I've only had it happen 3 times, and I know what my problem was when I did it. It's just like dumb stuff like, oh, I forgot to check that box to make it have supports, and obviously it needs supports, or hey, I shouldn't like build it without this specific setting or whatever. So I'm slowly figuring everything out, but yeah, I've had so many people hitting me up about 3D printer stuff like, oh my goodness, what kind of printer did you get? How much did it cost? And I think a lot of people are shocked by how little it costs compared to how much it used to. Like my printer I got retails for like $199. I got it for like around 170 for like around Black Friday, like Cyber Monday stuff. But yeah, I also printed out this thing, which is crazy, like a Arkham Horror. Did you see that I posted?
Yes,
the Arkham Horror tentacle thing. And I like that.
I don't know. One of my favorite things that you posted was the SD card.
Oh, you had the little fish thing?
Yeah.
It's so funny.
And then you printed Scotty a toy.
I keep bringing things into work and just like sitting them on my desk, and then people will come by like Sam and Z. Well, not Sam, but mostly Z and Tom, and just like flip out about it. Sam's all just like, I can see the mold lines. That's not a very good print. I was like, okay, thanks, Sam. I'm like, it's not Games Workshop, like obviously, but yeah. But it's still been fun.
It was under $200, right?
Yeah. And
so for under $200 to have a 3D printer to do stuff like that, have you thought about making your own custom game pieces yet?
Yeah, I have a lot of stuff I want to make for like prototypes too. Like I want to make a bunch of stuff for the game that I'm currently working on, and that was one of the main reasons I got it. But the next step
is talk about that game.
No, the next step.
But you just brought it up.
I know, but I should never bring things up like that around Robert Newman. I'm just kidding.
What's this game about?
Shh. But I what was I gonna say? You
totally
say it messed me up, Rob.
I'm gonna say it in the chat.
But the chat pops up here. Come on. Anyway,
you're talking about 3D printing and the guys messing with your stuff.
But yeah, there's so much stuff you can do with like prototype stuff. The next step, I want to like start learning how to like create the files, you know, that you can print, because I feel like I could make my own tokens and stuff. You know, it's kind of funny because like half of chat has played my game.
Half of chat has played your game, and so let's just talk about it.
I don't know that Asmodee North America would want me to do that. No, I'm just kidding.
Have you signed something with them yet?
No.
Have you?
No. Anyway.
So let's talk.
Christian Peterson's going to come back from the grave.
Did he die?
No, he didn't die.
Like, man, that just got like super dark and rough. Like, wow. Like they didn't just like let him go. They let him go.
Trevor's here, and that makes even more people.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, 3D printing's been fun, and Tom.
Now let me ask you this: are you still, with everything that you printed, are you still on the original toner type stuff,
dude,
that came with it, or how much toner? Like, are you having to buy a lot of toner?
So the stuff is called like filament. It's like little plastic spools. It's basically like it reminds me of like a weed eater like line or whatever or something. Yeah. But yeah, you just put that in there. I feel like I look at those rolls and there is still a ton on it. I keep switching back and forth in between black and blue.
Yeah.
Like I had black on there first, and I put blue on there, and then I put black back on there, and I just put the red that I got on there, and I bought yellow just because I didn't buy yellow because I needed more filament. I bought yellow because I wanted a different color.
Yeah.
To print in, but like I still have a ton of filament. Like it literally takes barely any of it even to build like big things. So I still have a ton of black, and that's the one that I've used the most of. I feel like, I don't know, those rolls of filament that are like huge, and they take, it barely takes anything to build like big stuff, which is kind of crazy because it's like $20 or $17 for like one of those big rolls, and you can make mass amounts of stuff. What I need to do is, after I finish a roll or something like that, be like, this is all the things I made with one roll of filament. This was $16 for all of these things. That's
actually, I would really like that if you could do that. Just because like that's one of like, so I used to sell copiers and printers and fax machines and all that stuff. And that's where we really made our money. It is the most expensive liquid on the planet is toner. And so that's my thing. Like the old shaving gimmick was, I'll give you the razor itself for free. Just pay for the blades. Right. You know, that's where they're really making their money. And so
I don't think that's the case with these 3D printers, which is kind of crazy because you can get a lot out of a roll. I saw I should find the picture, but there's a guy that I guess he like does like war stuff or plays like war games or something, but he prints tanks. He had like tons of tanks all over the table with tons of like terrain pieces he had printed out, and like all sorts of different like just army things, and he was like, all of this was a roll of filament. like $20. I mean, of course, you have to count in like electric cost for running the thing, but apparently it doesn't, like, the cost of the electric isn't that bad for just running it, because I mean it runs for like a long amount of time. Like this took 20 hours to make, which is a long time. But if
that was one color, right?
Yeah, this is just black. So,
and you still have a ton left of black?
Oh, I have a whole bunch left of black. Like, it's not even halfway through. So that's the thing, is like it might be a while before I can even post a picture of how much a whole roll made, because it's not going down that much at all.
Okay.
So, which is a good thing. But yeah, I'm excited to see. And I'm going to keep, like, I'm doing videos on Board Game Breakfast now about 3D printing, and I'll keep, like, posting and talking about that sort of stuff. But yeah, good times. I made Adam like really want to get one when I started showing him all the D&D stuff you can make with it, because there's more D&D stuff than you can make with it than there is even board game stuff, because there's a guy that made like miniatures for like everything in the monster manual. So and you can make dungeon tiles. Like, I'm sure you could run out of filament just making tons and tons of dungeon tiles, but I'm sure you'd get a lot of them before you ran out of a roll, you know. Oh man, I'm stoked. Oh, and I was posting pictures of SD card things. I'm sure Adam deals with SD cards all the time as well. Good times. I don't really have too much news or anything listed. One thing that I do want to note is I work for this company. I don't know if anybody's heard of them before, but they're called the Dice Tower. And their Kickstarter ends Thursday night at midnight. So I'm going to be doing a live stream with them Thursday night. So that should be interesting, to count down the end of the Kickstarter. But we're doing pretty solid. So
how successful? How like is a Kickstarter like? Boom! Like you guys are happy.
We're almost there. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, we've like funded and done like a lot more in there. Tom's like, what's the next stretch goal? What are we doing? What are we doing? And there's a lot of things it's like that were like maybes before, just because like conventions are really expensive and putting on all the different things are expensive. So he's like, oh well, I mean, I guess now we can probably go to this con or go to that thing or be able to do support for this thing. So it's really cool to see. Not me necessarily.
Yes, you.
What was it?
Come on, you know what's gonna happen.
They were talking about because one of the really cool things that's on there is there's Rising Sun promos, and like those went like hotcakes.
Are they already all gone?
We're trying to make sure that they don't get all gone. So we're like, cool mini or not, listen, we need these to never be gone.
They're like completely new cards.
Yeah, it's all new cards for the game. But he's gonna have it in the. You can add like $15 or whatever to your current thing, your current level, and then it'll be in the pledge manager as well.
Sweet.
So I'm excited about that. I'm like, that's the one thing I want. I want those Rising Sun cards.
So did you back your own Kickstarter?
I didn't. It was funny. Me and Sam were talking about the whether that was good or not, and I thought about doing it until he's like, I don't think it's right to do that just so that people get the notifications of it. I'm like, it's not just so people get the notifications. What if you want to talk in the comments or something like that? And he's like, nah, you're just trying to get people to be notified. I'm just like, what's wrong with people being notified? Sam doesn't understand sales. Marketing and sales.
Is Sam kind of a stickler on some stuff?
Oh yeah, Sam's awesome, and we like a lot of the same games, but he's very much like, these are my thoughts. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I love Sam. He's awesome.
Take it or leave it.
Exactly. Sweet. Yeah. But yeah, I guess we can talk a little bit about what we've been playing. I saw that you posted that you've been playing some games, man.
Yes, sir. I did. Sorry, let me turn off my day all the time job. Yes, I got to play Hail Hydra with some friends of mine, and we played Codenames, which was the big hit, and then we played like a quick round of Go Cuckoo. But let me say this about Hail Hydra. I still love Hail Hydra. I think Hail Hydra is a fantastic game and still one of my favorite social deduction games. However, one thing I learned about Hail Hydra is it is completely better, like 100% better, when you have people that are into the theme.
Oh, really? You had people that weren't into adventures?
Yes, we had some people that like did not care.
Oh,
You know,
really?
like they liked the social deduction part, but they didn't care about their powers or anything else like that. Like I think me and one other person was the only people that ever used our powers, and like
They just didn't pay attention, or
they just it didn't register. Like it wasn't something that they were even. Well, they're not big Marvel fans anyway, you know, and so it was just one of those things. Like okay, like yeah, I've got this thing. Um, so I was a Hydra, and we won as a Hydra. We won beautifully. Like I had everybody thinking that the Hydra agents were on the other side of the table,
yeah,
and I
yeah.
kind of threw my other Hydra guy under the bus because he said something and he screwed up. And so I jumped on their bandwagon, like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. He said that he lied, yeah, blah 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 blah. And so we had this whole other side of the table picked down as the Hydra, and then at the very end when we're fighting Red Skull, um, I knew we didn't have enough in, and my other Hydra agent gave me two really bad cards, and I had a really bad card, and so I came out as Hydra, and then I put in like minus 14, I think, against Red Skull, and so they did not defeat him. And so the plus my minus 3 and plus his 6, we were able to destroy New York City. So for everybody living in New York City, super sorry about that. It is my fault. I did kill you guys. And so played Hail Hydra, had a lot of fun. But a game that we played that I hadn't played in a while, but I really enjoyed, and the group played. Like we played 6 or 7 times. Codenames.
Oh,
Everybody
yeah.
had a lot of fun playing Codenames. I forgot how much fun that game was. And then by the time we got done,
Was this just
people
regular code names?
yeah, it was just that's all I have.
Oh, nice.
Is regular Codenames. I may end up getting like the Disney Codenames, just because like when my daughters start to get older and things like that, because we like to play a lot of games. But people were looking up Harry Potter Codenames, the Codename pictures. The other couple Marvel fans looked up Marvel Codenames and things like. Everybody was like adding it to their list on Amazon and stuff like that. So that was a lot of fun. But Codenames was a blast. It was probably my favorite of the night, just because everybody got into it. Everybody really enjoyed it, and Codenames is also really. I did something before in Codenames I've never done.
Oh, yeah.
I did a word and I did 5, and they got 4 of the 5, but technically they got all 5. It's just somebody was being silly and pressed something that they shouldn't have pressed. You know how like when you touch the card.
What did they go and get the last one on a later turn, or?
Yeah, they got it the very next turn. They're
That's
like,
awesome.
okay, yeah, like we know what you're talking about. But I've never gone for 5, and everything lined up. It was tennis 5, and I had like racket, serve, ball, stadium, and then like point, all on my thing. And I was like, all right, tennis 5, and my wife was on the opposite team. What?
What'd they touch that was wrong?
One of the guys was being funny, and he touched tie.
Oh, gotcha.
Like if you tied in the game, and as soon as he touched it, everybody else was like, "No, it was this." And so the one that he touched was neutral, and so like on our very next turn, they touched it.
There you go.
And so, but yeah, like that was a first for me in Codenames going that high. I've gone 3 before, and I've been a little risky with 4 a couple times, but never 5.
That's awesome. Yeah, Codenames just holds up. Like it's such a great selling game for a reason.
It really is. It really is just one of those games where, and also like for our group, that's one of the reasons why we went to Codenames after playing Hail Hydra, because this was like one of those groups where it's like, okay, they need something more generic, more like non-so theme based type of a thing, and so it ended up being a great time. So, how about you? What'd you play?
Well, I guess I can talk about the game I played today, and not Sleepover Party, because that was the worst game ever.
Sleepover Party.
So Tom, we do these testing Tuesdays at the Dice Tower, and Tom always makes us in with a party game, but like the last 2 have been like the worst party games ever. Like literally should be burnt in a fire. No one should play them. So, and we did this terrible sleepover game that was literally like you just pick out a card and you try to act out whatever the thing is or do whatever. And it's just like, just really dumb stuff. It's like humiliate yourself the board game. So basically that's what we did, was humiliate ourselves the board game. So like I had to act like I was being attacked by a mass murderer who was throwing tomatoes at me that stunk or something. And then I had to act like I was a leprechaun that just found his pot of gold or something. I don't know. It's just really dumb stuff. Terrible game, but I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about Dice Throne. Dice Throne is, I've played this with Trevor, and it was a lot of fun when I played it with Trevor as well. But Dice Throne is basically like I think it can be played with more players, but it should really only be played 2 players. But it's like 2-player battle Yahtzee almost. It's got like a little bit of that King of Tokyo vibe because you're doing the whole dice and rolling them, like the 3 rolls basically where you get to re-roll dice. But there's a whole bunch of different characters in this game. Each character has their own set of custom dice. And then each character has their own set, like as a deck of cards specific to that character. And then you are going to be, they each have like different combinations you can get on the dice. There'll be symbols on the dice as well as numbers. And you're trying to get combinations of symbols and numbers to activate powers on your board. I played the Artificer first. And what did Tom play? Tom played like a gunslinger, like a Wild West gunslinger. And I had like all these robots I could activate. I had like different tokens where I could like get robots and then activate those robots and try to put like nanobots on him and then activate the nanobots to deal damage. It's just an interesting game where you're like rolling dice, trying to get different symbols on the dice to do damage to your opponent. Each player has 50 life. You're trying to knock them down to 0 life, and you have cards that can like cancel the damage, and you have defensive rolls, and there's just all sorts of different powers depending on the character you're playing. But it was a fun game. I played that 2 times a day. First I played the Artificer, and then I played the Samurai. I should have played the Samurai first because the Samurai was super easy to play. And the Artificer had all these like robots and like combos and different things you had to do, and you didn't have very good defense, but you had to like use your robots to heal yourself and things like that. It was fun, and I think it's one where when you play the same character multiple times, you'll be able to get better at it and know like, because you can upgrade your different things. Like, okay, I have this small straight ability or a large straight ability or like different things, and you can upgrade those and make them better and make them do more damage and make them activate more of your tokens and special abilities and things like that. But it was a fun game. I think you'd actually really like it, Rob. I mean, it's really light and simple, but I know Trevor has it, but it's a cool little game if you want a light head-to-head dice chucker. So it's like, if you like King of Tokyo is fun with like 4 or 5 players. This is like a game like that you can play 2 players. We're just head-to-head hitting each other with dice.
Okay.
Not literally hitting each other with dice, but doing damage.
I'm not interested anymore.
But yeah, and that is Dice Throne. And they've got like a 1st edition and 2nd edition, and there's like tons of different characters in this game. So it's pretty cool.
I would have checked it out. Like when I did my game day last Friday, I had stuff going on, and then all of a sudden it canceled, and so I just texted a couple people from church, and I was like, "Hey, I just got I got the night free. Do you guys want to come over and play party games?"
Nice.
And so like I was even texting. You mentioned Trevor. I was texting Trevor. I think it was earlier. It was either this week or last week. Mm-hmm. And I was like, "Hey, let's play Game of Thrones and other things like that." But thinking back on everything, like, to try to set up a time. Yeah. Unless like something like Friday night happens where an appointment cancels or something, I'm pretty swamped. I had my court date yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Monday. Bro, court, that was kind of fun. That was for those that don't know, I'll just say this really quick. There was a situation that happened where somebody tried to kidnap a child, and I got involved with other people in stopping it. And so the police were called, other things happened, and then I had a subpoena to go to court as one of the witnesses. because when you put your hands on somebody, I guess you need to go to court. But I'm not in trouble or anything like that.
Did you get to be the hero?
No, I was not like I was not like the hero. There's people that definitely did more and things like that. You know, it was a crazy situation, but I'm happy that we were able to be there.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Yeah. Bro, Micah Powers, Rhino Hero Super Battle is a game I need to play right now. That game is so good. That game is so good. I'm glad you ordered it. Your 3-year-old, I don't know if the 3-year-old will be able to understand it so much. They may get a little too excited. Your 5-year-old should be good, but that's such an awesome game.
You could always play. You could always play when you play with the 3-year-old, like I did. Well, I played regular Rhino Hero, where it's like, I guess you could like have them. I mean, you can try to make it a little bit more cooperative, but it'll be hard to stack super high. Even with my kids, It's hard to stack super high. Do you play with your daughter at all?
I played, with my eldest. Yeah.
Yeah.
You played before.
My son still like he knocks it over all the time.
Well, like when we get to a certain stage, she almost wants to stop and watch and see how, like, okay, it hasn't fallen down yet. How high can mommy and daddy make it?
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like her nervousness, like she gets all giddy and excited.
Yeah.
And so she's just like laughing in the corner, like, all right, go higher. So,
nice.
Anyway, such a great game. Great game.
Cool.
Sweet.
Yeah, Rhino Hero Super Battle is not a kid's game. It is for serious adults.
It says 99 to 5. Yeah, and I take that 99.
And a lot of those numbers are older people. I mean, you know.
Yeah, they are. There are more adults in that group range than there are children.
For sure.
And so, yeah. No joke.
Oh, yeah, I love that game. Awesome. Would you want to talk about anything else you played, or should we?
That's the only 3 games I played was Goku, Hail Hydra, and Codenames. Codenames was the hero of the weekend.
That's awesome.
And my hair is crazy. I need to get a haircut, bro.
I cut my hair, and one by one, everybody came into the office and asked me if I got a haircut. And I was like, yes. Well, I mean, I didn't get a haircut. I cut my hair. And Z's like, what? You cut your own hair? And he's like, how'd you do that? I'm like, I use this straight razor feathering thing and like cut my hair. I've done it for like 10 years, 10 plus years that way. And he's like, what? I don't understand what you're saying. Like, we're about to go on live stream. He's like, I don't get it. And I'm just like,
can't handle it.
Do you need me to show you a picture? And he's like, yeah, because I was trying to explain what it was. It's like a razor with like little teeth on it that you just run through your hair and it like cuts it. He's like, I've never seen that before. And I like show it to him. He's like, this looks dangerous. You shouldn't do this. He's like, doesn't that hurt? I'm like, calm down, man. It's just my life. Leave me alone.
And we're live in 3, 2,
exactly.
1.
That's literally how it was. That's normally how it is, though. Good times. But yeah,
good times.
Today we're talking about player counts in games. We're actually doing a player countdown or count up, whatever works. So we're going to be talking about games that we think are good at each player count. But before that, we're going to have a question. Rob, what is your favorite player count when playing games?
Can I only pick one number, or can I pick more than one number?
If you had to pick a favorite, what is your one favorite? We can talk about other numbers, but what's your one favorite?
5.
5 is your very favorite?
Like, see, I'm split between 4 and 5. But if I had to choose one, I would say 5. But there are a lot of good games that only play 4.
Yeah.
I
think for me, I have to go 4 just because with 4, you can play almost anything. Like, there's a bunch of games you could probably play that aren't necessarily 100% best at 4, but almost all games play 4. So you can.
I'll do that. Okay, fine. I'll go 4.
You can almost everything at 4. But
5 in real life though is like my favorite number.
Yeah. Just the dynamic of.
I think you're right. There's just too many good games at 4. That you can't play with 5. So
and there's a bunch of good games that are normally at 4 that go up to 5. That's kind of like, is it as good at 5 or is it better just at 4?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, you got me 4. Cuatro.
What about the other side? What's like the hardest player count to like you think to get people together to play games?
1.
1? Yeah.
I hate playing solo games.
Have you ever played a solo board game though?
For 5 minutes. Maybe I take that back. Maybe 10. Maybe 10.
Even when you played Descent, did you play that solo or?
Yes, for about 10 minutes, and then I sold all my Descent stuff.
Oh no.
No, I'd rather go play a video game or something. If I'm playing a board game, it's because I want to interact with other people.
Yeah.
And I like board games, and I like the idea that a board game by myself can immerse me in the world, but like video games do that better for me. If it's just me. What I really love about board games, besides the game themselves, but the energy that I'm getting off of people while playing with them. Like the talking, the goofing around, the making people mad because we're not paying attention to the rules because we're checking out memes and stuff. Like, I love that. And it's really weird to interrupt yourself when you're trying to teach yourself rules while looking at memes.
Yeah.
And so I just, yeah,
I can see
Can't do it, man.
It's not the same. I think 3 is really hard because I like to play so many of these games that are combative. But like a lot of those games don't really work very well when you get that third person because you always like have the gang up thing going on where it's like not necessarily even, or 2 people get into it and the other person runs away with the game. We've played a few games like that before where it's like 2 people are fighting and the other person just wins because they're not involved in the combat. So some games that just don't work well at that player count.
Yep.
But I guess we can go ahead and do our count up and the different player counts. I started with 1. I know Rob kind of already covered that he doesn't really like to play.
Yeah, my number 1, I actually put down video games.
Yeah, I don't really play that many solo games, but there's one game that I actually really do like to play solo, and that's the Arkham Horror LCG, which is actually the one I made this little tentacle thing for. I don't know. I just really enjoy the story in it. It's weird because you're like playing through this thing, doing all the different actions and doing a little bit of deck building, but you're also getting like so much story at the same time. So it's kind of like I don't know, choose your own adventure, like going against the thing with crazy cooperative game.
Yeah.
And I really liked it. And Trevor ruined it for me, and I only want to play solo now because Trevor's the worst. No, I'm just kidding. I moved away.
But he is sort of the worst. But he's not. No.
Bye, Trevor. The other day,
I like that game with you, and with people. I like playing that game as a group. Anyway.
Every game.
However, though, if I were to play a solo game, it would be a game like that with the cards, with the theme and the adventure and stuff like that.
Like story.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But I agree. Like playing video games is probably better, but for me, some reason I can play I guess because I do so much podcasting and like do so much stuff in the board game sphere that and I have an Instagram that's all about board games. Like if I play a solo game, at least I can take a picture of it for Instagram, as opposed to if I play a video game, people are going to be like, nobody's going to care if I play a video game,
Yeah.
So I don't know. I can get some sort of social interaction online through talking to people about the game or talking about the game on the podcast, Where if I played a video game, it's like
Tainted Grail, Jordan, you got Tainted Grail.
I really want to play that game.
That's that new one from Awakened Realms?
Yeah.
The big one from last year?
It looked cool. I don't really know that much about it, but just
I just got so mad about Lords of Hellas.
And then you got so happy about Nemesis.
So here's the thing. So I know we're kind of going off topic, but not so much off topic. So, do you remember when I emailed Awakened Realms and I was like, I'm beyond disappointed, blah, 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 blah. So, 3 weeks ago, they got back to me.
Yes.
And they were like, hey, we are so sorry about X. If you really do have a problem, we are more than happy to refund your money. So sorry, blah, blah, blah. And I had, just gotten Nemesis in the mail, not even a week prior to that.
Yes.
And so I emailed them back, all is forgiven. I love Nemesis. I've never played it, but it looks so great. I'm just mad now that I didn't back Tainted Grail. And they're like, don't worry, sir. We're opening up so-and-so soon. Thank you so much for your change of heart. Blah, blah, blah. And so, Nemesis for me did... if you could
hey, if you want to get in on the Pledge Manager, you can get in on the Pledge Manager, and you're just I don't need to get in on the. I'm trying to save money.
I am trying to save money. It's just so. It's so hard. Like I'm trying to sell games, nobody wants to buy my games either. I'm not Roy.
Dude, I sold my games for nothing though. Like I didn't get like I literally I'm just like, if I saw this go up, I would buy this.
Yeah.
I just they have to move.
So what's your number 2?
Number 2.
We may have a crossover here.
Let me see. Can you guess what my number 2 is?
Yes.
What is it?
War of the Ring.
War of the Ring is definitely my favorite game with 2 players. Hands down. I played a lot of games with 2 players. There's so many great CCGs and card games and things with 2 players.
I did not War of the Ring's pick a card game because there are so many really great ones.
Yeah.
So I went strictly board game. And I have a tie. I put War of the Ring, which I would say War of the Ring over my other one because I played it more, but I also put Star Wars Rebellion.
Oh man.
The couple times I played that game, I really did like it, and both themes are fantastic. Both games are really fantastic. I love the drama behind the War of the Ring, right? Yeah. Like Star Wars Rebellion has similar drama where you're stressed as the rebellion and stuff like that, but the epicness. It feels so epic, War of the Ring.
I really want to play that game again soon, but I have no clue who I'd be able to play it with down here.
I'll play.
Next time you're going to come down to Homestead, Florida?
Maybe, you know what? Maybe at Dice Tower Con we'll play.
Flights to Miami aren't that cheap, are they? I'll pick you up.
Bro, I've been to Florida 2 or 3 times already this year.
That's crazy. Oh, that's rough.
Yeah. I've been in and out of Orlando. A lot. So and I will be going back to Orlando hopefully in July.
For good reasons.
Yes. Well, the other reasons were good reasons, but just busy stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
So okay, so that was our crossover.
Yeah, I love War of the Rings 2 players. I really wish. I know a lot of people. It's hard for them to like get that game out, but I'd love to see like more people actually play that. But I know it's one of those games like 4-hour game, hard to play. But if you have hardcore gamer friend that like you play directly against, that's what you got to do. Did Rob leave?
I did not leave. I'm just looking at something real quick.
He's looking at secret material. But yeah, hey chat, let us know what your favorite solo game / 2-player game. Jordan says 2-player games are War Chest and Crystal Clans and Seven Wonders Duel. Crystal Clans is a blast to play. Seven Wonders Duel is actually really good too. I've only played it a couple times. But yeah, Seven Wonders Duel is an amazing 2-player game. But yeah, Kent, Arkham Horror LCG is so hard with more than 1 player. Yeah, you're right.
All right, I'm back. All right, this next one was actually the hardest one for me.
Did I mess up the
picture? Look at my little face. Look at my little face.
I know, right?
I'm back. All right. Number 3 was hard. And I'm doing something that I'm not. I like the game. I actually prefer this game that I'm about to say with 1 or 2 more players. But to me, this game also plays really, really well with 3.
Uh-huh.
And so I put Mansions of Madness down for my 3.
Nice.
2nd edition, specifically, because you're all working together. This is like a heavy game that I would play happily with 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was
the funny
tough.
thing is I actually had Mansions of Madness written in for my 3, and then I took it out just because I'm like, I would play Mansions of Madness at a large variety of player counts. I've played it with 1 and been happy. I played it with 2 and been happy. I played it with 3 and loved it. I think 3 might be like really good for it, but I also like 4 and 5. So it's kind of like, I feel like Mansions of Madness is so good at like all of these player counts, but 3 is definitely like a sweet spot for it too, I think.
Yeah, what'd you put?
I put a game that you don't like, but I still really like. I put Xia just because 3 players gives you a good mix of players, but then it's not too many players to have too long of a downtime when it gets back to your turn.
But you said the expansion fixed that, right?
Yeah. And it actually.
See, I like Xia more if I were to play it with the fixed downtime.
Yeah.
With more because you're exploring, like you have like
right.
space pirates.
But yeah, and it's 3 gives you a good thing, like where I said in other games, like people might jump on you here or there. With 3 players in this, you actually have chances to like still interact with people, but then it gets back to your turn super quick, and it's a lot of fun, and you're exploring all the stuff and fighting off all the bad guys and things. So I think 3 is really good for Xayah.
Oh yeah, Jordan, I actually did consider Terraforming Mars with 3 players.
Oh yeah.
That was a short list. I like Terraforming Mars with 4 or less. But yeah, 3. In fact, last time I played Terraforming Mars with 3 players, I played with Emerson.
Oh, nice.
And I can't remember the other guy's name, but we had a fantastic game. He beat me by 1 point. That's like a victory. If Emerson Matsuuchi does not blow you out at like an engine building game, I feel like that was like a Diet Coke win.
That's awesome.
All right, sir.
Number 4.
4
players. 4 players for me. I picked a game because 5 players adds in a traitor, and I'm not so keen on that. But I picked Specter Ops. So Specter Ops is awesome at 4 players because you have the 3 hunters, and then you have like the agent that's like upgraded, so they have a little bit more hit points. But then, I mean, it's like super tense because they're just so many ways they can jump on you. You add in an extra exit, but then they can still block like 3 of them, and then there's just 1 left, and you can like have to figure out how to get away from 3 people at the same time. But then on the agent side, you're a team of 3 people that get to work together. Actually, I mean, this is still fun at 2 when you have to control 2 things, but I think 3 is like really good because you get like a full team. It really feels like 1 versus many, as opposed to like.
I need to play that. It's been a while. I actually tried to pull it out this weekend, but then a couple more people showed up. But yeah, I really need to play.
It's in my top 10. Like
you play? Would you play the original map and just add in the new? Like, it makes no difference if you add in the new.
Yeah, you can do it either way. I think the other map adds in like locations that give you items, and you can go pick up stuff. But when you pick up that stuff, they get to like hear you or something like that. But yeah, I haven't played with the new stuff that much. That's one of the things I'd really love to do. But I'm still mostly talking about base Specter Ops, which I still love.
Yeah. Such a good game. I will play that. I will probably play that game a couple times this year because when they came over on Friday, I basically told them, hey, this is the board game hide and go seek where you have to, like, it's a little bit more intense, but just imagine. It's
not even that hard to teach.
It's not. And the people I was telling it to really seemed like excited about that.
You should just.
And I was like, next time it's just
us,
we'll play it.
Listen. It's your own fault you haven't played it. Just do it.
It is.
Just throw it on the table.
I'm so sorry. So sorry. My number 4, and the reason why I put it at number 4, you can definitely play a lot more players, but I enjoy this the most playing with 4 players, but doubling up. So everybody gets 2 characters, so you're really playing with 8 characters, and that is Zombicide. Regardless of what Zombicide, whether it's the Black Plague or the first 3 seasons or whatever it is, I just really love Zombicide. And I like it when you have more than 1 character. Because that's the type of game where most of the maps are like, you need a minimum of 6 characters or more. And so when you play with 4 and you have that 8 rather than the 6, I just feel like it gels better. And also people will make mistakes with 1 character, and you can see which character they really love and which character they really don't love. And so it's just a lot of fun. By the end of the game, we're making fun of half of our characters that are still in the blue and not doing anything, and all of our other characters have like all the equipment and attachments. And I know you guys may be getting like tired of me talking about it, but I just really love Zombicide. I really just love it. It's so fun. I don't have to think when playing it. It's a silly little game, and it has a lot of plastic.
That's awesome.
We may have another crossover here.
5 players?
I think.
I don't know. I don't think you're gonna have yours on yours. What's yours?
All right. What's yours?
Mine is one of my favorite games ever.
So's mine.
I don't think it's gonna be the same. I think it's gonna be different because mine is Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea with the Pestilence expansion.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea is great. And I like to play with a lot of players, but I think it's really cool that you can now play with a Pelsix expansion with the floating island, 5 players on the smaller board where it's 4 islands and then the floating 5th island. Because I like to play with a bunch of players because then you get lots of the different selection of items or lots of different selection of, like, not items, but people will pick the, like, things that you get to follow if there's a lot of players. Like, if you're playing with 1 or 2, you might not get to follow that much because people are going to be trying to not pick those things so you can't follow them. In 5 players, people are going to be picking things that you can follow, which is a lot of fun, figuring out how to min-max that. But then you also have the really cramped board with the floating island in the middle, and people are just attacking you from all sides, which I just think is fun.
Yeah. Well, not all of us are best friends with Gamelin Games, and our Kickstarters haven't shipped yet. So good for you.
Tom keeps going, when are they going to send me the Pestilence thing? And I'm like, probably when they actually get, like, copies from the thing. I'm sorry that I got it, like, weeks early.
Yeah, you did.
It's funny when even Tom Vassell is like, you got this game and I don't have it. Now I'm going to complain about it.
Yeah. And what I love, too, is, like, he always makes fun of them on their tiny games, and then, like, this really big game, he's like, oh, like, how much he wants it, how much he likes it. So
I was fussing at him about that today, too, about tiny things. He's like, sometimes I wish they just make the game bigger. And I'm like, no, listen, some people are poor, and poor people need good games, too.
That's right.
So he's like, well, I guess there's that. So,
well, my number 5 is Blood Rage. I love Blood Rage at 5. I think it's best at 5. I'd really rather not play Blood Rage less than 5. I'll go 4. But I love how when you play with 5, none of the map is destroyed yet.
Oh, yeah.
I think it, in a way, it actually makes it harder because everyone is going for everything at the beginning of the game. And so Blood Rage to me with 5 players and some house rules by adding in the gods and maybe doing multiple gods around. But that's just, that's the best way to go in that game. And the game is so fast, like there's really not a lot of downtime because also when you're raiding somebody, if somebody is adjacent and there's a free space, they can get somebody in there. And so it's not like you can just play your turn and then run away. So Blood Rage.
You just want to be as cramped as possible.
And then, man, I'm so excited for this new player mat to come in for Blood Rage.
One of the things I really want to print is like I need to find out if there's like a file or like just get a big tree file or something like that. And I just want like a 3D Yggdrasil right in the middle of the map. Just a giant tree would be awesome.
If you learned how to do that, I might like pay you to make one of those.
A big tree, like literally just in the middle of the map.
But then what if you print it off and it looks like it has those little holes in it? Are you gonna like freak out? Like those little spores?
I would try to not print something that looks like that.
But I'm just saying, like, what if like the depth of the leaves and stuff didn't turn out so well?
Why are you trying to trigger me on my terror of Cthulhu?
Just
pimply back.
It's a possibility.
Awesome. 6.
Number 6.
I don't know if this is necessarily the best player count, but I really enjoy playing this at this player count. And this is probably not the game I would necessarily always go to when I have 6 players, just because it's so hard to get to the table. But I put down I really like to play Twilight Imperium with 6 players.
Really?
Like, I like to play it with a big, like, large amount of people. So 6 players is good because 4 players is kind of like, I mean, it's cute. I mean, you want to play a mini game of Twilight Imperium, that's fine. And 5, the board gets all wonky. So like 6 players is like giant epic game of Twilight Imperium. And I played 6-player games of Twilight Imperium that like took 5.5 hours or whatever. It's not that bad. So.
Yeah, but doesn't that game play more?
With 3rd edition played more.
3rd edition.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
okay.
Yeah. Good times.
I've got 3rd edition then on one of my later lists.
Nice. All right.
My number 6. Now, granted, this is my games that I like. Mm-hmm. My favorite player count. I know this is a very Ameritrash, Amera theme style list, but my number 6 is Game of Thrones, the board game.
Oh
Absolutely love
yeah.
Game of Thrones, the board game with 6 players. I think that's the only way to play that game because when you do it that way, the whole board is open. None of the board is closed down or anything like that. And I don't like that when you can't go to certain castles because you don't have the proper player count. And so
That
yeah.
expansion's out now, right?
Yes, I'm just waiting on the freaking playmat. So
I feel like that
Cool
playmat
Stuff
is a
Inc.
must for that game.
So Cool Stuff Inc. can send me my order because there's other games I have in that order. And here's the thing, bro. Like I even emailed them saying, "Hey guys, can I please, like, can I change this so I can get my other stuff?" I haven't heard back from them. So
Really?
please, like, I sent them an email like, what I was gonna do, I was gonna change out the player, the game mat, and like one of like the Crystal Clans expansions. I was gonna take those off, and I was gonna add in that new expansion for Mansions of Madness. You know, with the boat
Yeah.
and the airplane,
Man, I still need to get that.
the Horrific Journeys or something like that. I was gonna add that, and I still have not heard back from them. And so it's just like, man, like, come on. Like, this is something that I really want. I really love. So anyway,
Nice.
we'll see. We'll see. But I love Game of Thrones. I think Game of Thrones with 6 players is such a fun game. And just the whole backstabbingness of it.
With the dragons, is that going to make it where you
Yeah.
have to play with 7 or 8?
I have no idea.
I mean, I know you don't have to, but it adds in like the Eerie stuff, and then it adds in the Targaryen. So it adds in 2 more houses. So now you got to play 8.
I have no idea. We'll see. I mean, Lee, or He Who Shall Not Be Named, he has got the expansion, but I have not read it yet to see what he's got going on or what he's doing with it. But yeah, I'll look at it once my copy comes in because then I'll want to play it. So
Nice. Awesome.
anyway,
7 players. Dude,
so
my 7...
I'm gonna
You going to do your 7-player game first?
because mine's kind of like a cheat.
Okay.
I did party games. I just put down party games
Really?
from.
So there's any party games.
Well, typically when I play 7 or more players, it's party games. Whereas it's like telestrations, or catchphrase, or wits and wagers, or anything like. I play a lot of party games when we have our big groups, especially at 7 or more. We'll rock out some party games, and so yeah, sorry. I know it's kind of cheesy, but that's just
What
what I
would be
did.
your go-to, like, if you had 7
My
people?
go-to party game is Wits and
Wits
Wagers.
and Wagers.
And it's not even my favorite. I mean, it is. How about this? I love it, but I've played so much of Wits and Wagers. Roy, when we were in Arkansas for a month, Wits and Wagered my face off, man. We like played that all the time because we'd go meet with new family. Oh, hey, bring Wits and Wagers. Oh, new family. Oh, bring Wits and Wagers. Bring Wits and Wagers. And so it's just like, no, like, come on, like I know the answers now. I know the answers now. Like, I shouldn't have played the game so much where you ask a card and I'm like pretty dead on. Like, but anyway, Wits and Wagers.
For
How about
me,
you? What's yours?
My number 7 is Shadows over Camelot.
Yeah,
Just because that
that
game...
plays 7.
Say what? Yes.
Shadows over Camelot plays 7. I did not know that. I would have put that down.
I've played
That
it
is
a ton
phenomenal.
of times with that many players, and it's crazy how well it works at that high of a player count.
Okay.
Like, I don't know, that game just works, and it's so simple to like get in, and it's easy to explain, and it's got the whole trader thing going on, and trying to figure all that stuff out. But yeah, Shadows over Camelot. I've played it that many a couple times. It's been a lot of fun. Are you fact checking me, Rob?
No, I'm not fact checking you. I'm fact checking something
Okay, gotcha.
else.
But yeah, Shadows over Camelot, like that game is just, I don't know. It's like the simple, like super basic hidden trader game, but it's just like a classic. I don't know. It's one of those games that I first played when I started gaming, and every time I brought it out, I've never not had fun with it, you know? So I think it's definitely best at those huge player counts, and it still plays quick because you can really only do just a teeny bit of stuff. You play like a card on your turn, or you move your guy on your turn. So turns are super quick, and there's just terrible things happening all the time, and you got to get rid of the catapults, and you're all making Monty Python jokes, and it's just a blast. So Shadows over Camelot.
I may have messed up on my number 8.
Uh-oh. Did you have to fact check?
I thought this game played 8. I thought we've done 8 player before.
Really? Which game?
Twilight Imperium.
It does with the expansions, but I don't think we've played 8.
Okay. Well, I mean, I've got it's close.
Dude, you want to play 8? Let's do this. who
I always.
over?
How about this? It felt like we were playing with 8 players.
Probably did.
Yeah.
I think we played with 6.
I've got an easy compromise. In fact, a game that I like more.
Cool.
My number 8. I know I just kind of mentioned party games, but my number 8. I think this is a sweet spot. It's actually 8 or 9. I don't like playing more than 9, and that's Deception, Murder, and Hong Kong.
Yeah, Deception, I think Murder, once you start to get number 8 too.
Once you get into double digits with that game, I think it just becomes too much for the forensic scientists, even with the additional characters, because there's just so many moving pieces, and you're not allowed to talk or say anything other than your little markers. And so for me, Deception, Murder, and Hong Kong, like 8 is that perfect amount, because it's enough to be like, oh, hey, let's pull this out, but it's not too much where it's overwhelming. Like, I think with 8, you have 7 people, you have, 56 different cards you're trying to communicate through people, because 7 and everybody has 8 cards and stuff like that.
You'll have the witness, so the witness
you can have the accomplice, and you can have the witness. Yeah.
And you'll be able to figure all that stuff out. Yeah, I picked it as 8 too, so I think Deception is where I'm like, yes, this is the perfect social deduction game.
Man, Shadows over Camelot. I haven't. Last time I played that was at your house, but that's one of those games I'll never sell.
Yeah, like I'm the same way.
I'll never sell, even if I don't know if I don't know the next time I'll play that game, but I don't know if I'll ever be able to get rid of it. It's just such a classic.
My friend Guy let me borrow his copy because we were playing games at my house a lot, and I was borrowing his copy for a long time. And then he's like, "Hey, do you have my copy of Deception, Murder, or not Deception? Do you have my
Shadows
copy of
of
Shadows
Camelot.
over Camelot?" And I was like, "Yeah, I have it." And he's like, "Okay, cool. Well, I'll pick that up from you." I'm like, "Okay." I gave him his copy back, and I immediately went on Board Game Geek and got somebody to like send me a copy, because I'm like, I need Shadows over Camelot now.
It's just so good. Yeah.
So, I just didn't want that hole in my collection. So it's like I gave someone back their copy. I immediately got my own copy.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
But anyway.
Awesome. Well, we just went up to 8, and then I'm sure once you get higher than that, it's just like social deduction game and party games for the most part, you know.
Yep.
And I mean, there's tons of games that fit into those categories and are a lot of fun, but yeah, that's pretty much where it goes.
And I had several that were close. Like I like Champions of Midgard, that I almost put down on there. There were a couple of other games like Spectre Ops was a short list game. But they were miniature games and card games I did not want to put down. Yeah. Just wanted like just board games and things like that. But there's so many. There's so many good games. So I almost put down Starship Samurai. Mm-hmm. And not that I think Starship Samurai is a better game than Zombicide.
Oh, for
just because how much I love Zombicide, but it's so perfect at 4 players. Yeah, it's such a great game at 4.
You need to play that game at 4 players, probably.
I think, and it's small enough, but it feels so big. Like it is the wheel of 4-player games. Mm-hmm. Like it almost could be that perfect. Like, why change anything about this type of it? I just like Zombicide with 4 players better. That's why.
I think Cosmic Encounter is really good at 5 players, because then you have like the oddball like number of players, so it's not like 2 go to this side and then 2 go to that side. Well,
yeah.
I guess it would be that way. Well, no, it wouldn't be that way because somebody'd be attacking, then you have a defender, and then you'd have like odd numbers of players on which side they're going to go at. So I think 5 players is really good for like stuff like Cosmic.
Yep.
And Battlestar Galactica is really good like that 4 to 5 player, 6 player. I guess 5 players is Battlestar Galactica, right?
I didn't know you could play with 6 at BSG.
I think you have to have the expansion or something to play up to 6.
You guys have played 6 though, right? Like with Sam and all them.
Weird Cylon stuff and things like that.
No, I like Battlestar actually at 4 or 5, 5 max. I think it goes up to 5 out of the base spots. What do you play Dead of
Winter at 5?
I typically play at 5.
Yeah.
But Dead of Winter is one of those things where it's like, I love the game, I love the theme, but honestly, it didn't just pop out to me. It wasn't like one of those things where it's like, oh, this player count. Like, I don't know. I pick games that I really, really love to play at this count. And the only exception to the rule to me was Mansions of Madness. I think it plays well with more. But anyway. Ambi, have a safe drive home. I love that she listens to us while she's at work.
That's awesome.
And then she goes, Ambi, you are amazing. We appreciate you. We get excited every time you join the chat, and I know chat loves you as well. So have a great night.
Rex should be played at 6.
Rex?
Because 6, you get all the characters in there.
I need to give Rex another shot. Here's the thing, though. I really enjoyed Rex.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed AJ Rex. I enjoyed...
You're just glad that he got mad. Weren't we in a 3-way alliance and then you played the betrayal card to win the alliance?
At the very, very end of the game. And the only reason why I did that is because of what you did to AJ. And when you did that to AJ, I looked at AJ and I was like, all right, man, listen, if he does that, like if he really does betray you.
Because me and Hector were allied with you and we basically gave up everything we had so that way we could all win together.
So we could all win. And I looked at AJ after you betrayed him and I was like, look, man, at the end of the game, if I get the chance for betrayal, I'll do it. And he said, you better do it. And so, like, an hour or so later goes by, we're at the end of the game, and he's like, Rob, you promised. Rob, because at first I wasn't going to do it.
And it went great. I don't know why everybody was, I guess they were upset about the fact that there was, like, betraying and messing each other up. But
well, the main thing that I don't like about Rex, I think it's a fun game, and I like how the ships and everything rotate. The thing that I don't like about Rex is how locked in you are with your
it's very
alliance.
like if you make mistakes, you could get a bunch of units killed, and it's really hard to get them back sometimes.
Yeah, like that's one of those things where when you're locked
how you can move stuff.
It can really screw you up,
yeah.
really badly. And so that's like a big key mechanic that I didn't like. But man, I was such a young board gamer when we played that.
Yeah.
Like in board game years, I was like a teenager.
I should like make a game of that happen again. I painted up my ships for it, like the little colony ship thing or the blasted ship thing.
I remember that.
Anyway, good times. So what player count do you normally have whenever you play games? Like what ends up like happening a lot?
What ends up happening is like I'll tell my wife, "Hey, I want to play like a serious game," and she looks at me and she's like, "So call your friends," because she doesn't want to play. And so like I've got a couple of people at church that I can just like Friday night text them, and they're like, "Dude, done." But the reason why we played more is because their spouses were also free, and so like they came over, and so like we did.
You say next time, don't bring the spouses.
Or
leave the husbands at home.
The spouses are more than welcome to come, but if you really don't want to play games, don't get mad at us that play games. You guys can go have adult time and be like mature and responsible and go sit on the couch and drink coffee and like solve life problems. But sometimes we just want to be silly and play games. And so, yeah, typically I play with 4.
Yeah, I guess for me everything's up in the air because I don't have like a game group. I play with the guys at work occasionally, and then it seems like whenever I go to cool stuff...
You make that sound like so bad, though. Like, the way you just said that, I was like, yeah, I play with the guys at work occasionally. Like,
when I go to cool stuff, everything ended up getting in pairs of 4. So I guess that's what everybody like pairs off in groups of 4 everywhere. It seems like, so it seems like that's the number. So good times.
That's awesome, Benjamin. I'm glad you are living life and loving it. We love you.
I need to find like the hardcore I need to like get a 2-player game person, make it happen.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
It would be cool. Is there a player count number? There a player count number that more games?
Yes, account number.
That more games need to accommodate. What do you mean by that?
Is there a player count number that more games need to accommodate? You think that like there's this number of player count? Is
there like a 4-player game that really needs to be 5? Is what you're saying?
I'm just saying, is there like 3 players? Is there not enough games for 3 players, or are there not enough games for 5 players? Are there not enough? What games do you think you'd like to see more of for that player count?
I don't know, because
there's so many for so many different situations.
Well, I haven't found myself limited. I could see 3. Like if I was gonna say, if I were to give you a number, I would say 3. But like I haven't run into a situation where I just couldn't find anything at 3 players to play. You know, like I've always been able to find something good. And I'm also a creature of habit, so like if I like the game, I'm gonna keep playing the game. Like it doesn't always have to be the new. Like I'll buy the new, but I may not play it. Yeah, I guess 3. I'll go with you, Benjamin. I'll say 3.
Yeah, 3 would be cool too. I would like to see more games that are like feel like solid games that do those higher player counts, like 7 and 8 and stuff like that. I'm sure it's hard for them to get people to get those to the table, but like Shadows over Camelot, you don't expect that game to play 7 players so well. It's like, what?
And it does so well.
That's like a really big, like it's a full-on board game.
But here's what works for Shadows over Camelot, though, that a lot of games aren't doing nowadays: player elimination.
I mean, I haven't seen. I mean, I guess people could be eliminated. Yeah, people can get eliminated in that game.
You can get killed out of Shadows over Camelot. You can be killed out. Your life cube goes down, and you're done. Where you're not really seeing a lot of player elimination. In fact, in a lot of rules, they say if your player dies, you're allowed to start back at such and such with a new character or new this or new type of a thing. Where Shadows over Camelot are like, look, guys, you suck as the Knight of the Grail, and you're dead, and now you have to watch everybody else try to fix your mistakes.
We've got all these like short like Euro games and things that take like these really quick turns, like
which ones?
Like that.
Tell me.
Well, I'm just saying, like,
'cause that's weird. That's a weird sentence. A short, quick Euro game with quick turns.
Well, I'm just saying, like, family weight. Like, I was thinking, like, Century and stuff like that, where you just take those really quick turns. If they had more, like, big, full, like, board games that had really quick turns like that. I mean, that's the reason Shadows works good at high player counts, too, is that the turns are, like, you do a thing. You know, you don't do 3 or 4 things or 10 things. You do a
and everybody's
thing.
Telling you also what to do, because what you do affects everybody.
Right. And so people are engaged in that one thing you do, because they're like, wait, why did you go over to Excalibur? Like, that makes no sense right now. What are you doing? So
yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. It's tough though, because like then you have to play in like the downtime, you know, of the game. Like when you get into those higher player counts, like that's one of the things that I think really kills it for a lot of people. When you're playing like a TI 4 or something with like 6+, it's like I have to take off a whole day for this one game, you know. And
I want to see games that feel like full games that could make that big player count happen.
How much does Heroes of Legendary and Sea play? 6, right? Now 7.
It plays up to 7, yeah. But it's definitely, I mean, it's huge. It's definitely not a short game at all. But it's fun. It's fun at 7. It's literally super chaotic, and it's a lot of fun. But that's one of those where it's like, well, at this point, it's going to take a long time to play.
I don't know, though, if I'd want to play like an epic, short, big player game.
You don't think so?
Not if it's short, because like if I'm signing up to play a game, like, and I know it's going to be like an epic game. I'm not saying
that it has to be epic. I don't want it necessarily to be epic. I just want it to feel like a full game that's not a party game and not a a social reduction game, but it still plays a big player count. We're still playing with like it feels more tangible than that, you know.
What are you saying? 7 and above?
Yeah.
Okay, because like Western Legends to me at 6, at its maxed out, it was the best. Absolutely loved it. Western Legends was great. I think Not Alone, Adam, if you're still in the chat, is Not Alone 7 or more? Because we played Not Alone by Stronghold Games, and their artwork, besides that being on point, the game was actually really, really good. So I don't know. That's a good question. We may have to do that next time.
The more people you have, the less alone you are.
Wow, bro, you are so deep.
We were saying not alone.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Well,
cool.
I mean, I guess that's been a show. It seemed. Yeah, I mean, we did the things. We talked about the player counts.
Yep.
What's everybody's favorite player count in chat, and why is it 4? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, Benjamin is 3 because he plays with his family, and that's very sweet.
Yeah, that does happen sometimes. You just have like those specific people you play with all the time, and like if that's what your group consists of, you gravitate towards that number games, you know.
Yep.
So good times.
Good times.
Awesome, everybody. Well, this has been a podcast of Epic Gaming Night. We stream these Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time at youtube.com/Epic Gaming Night. I want to say thank you so much to all of our amazing patrons. You are all the best. Thank you for all of your support. Are you feeling things this week, Rob?
Am I feeling it?
Are you feeling it this week?
You know what? I wasn't until I saw this person, and then I got that feeling. I got that black-eyed pea feeling that tonight's going to be a good night.
Yeah.
I got that feeling that tonight is going to be a good night. Tonight's the night, Roy.
Let's live it up.
Let's live it. That's right. Yes. Let's live it up. Yes. Okay. I'm glad you knew where I was going with that.
I was just letting you roll with it.
No, you know why I got this way? Because I looked at this name and just so many emotions, all good. I even cried a little bit, not a lot, because
happy tears.
They were happy tears, but they were like, man, like we have come such a long way, and I am so proud of everything that this person has accomplished, and I just hate for the fact that we can't disclose with everybody everything that this person has done. Like if you're looking for a superhero, it could be this person, but we're not allowed. I will be able to tell you what this person has done when Roy is able to tell us about his board game. That's how top secret this person is. And not that they're that top secret, but their accomplishments. Like if you only knew how many times they've saved the world. And of course, everybody knows I'm talking about the one and the only, the beautiful smelling. How about this? Mahogany wears his cologne. The actual tree, mahogany, sprays on this. And this is that person's name. That's how amazing this is. We're bringing back the wood factory. We're bringing back the wood plant where we're chopping down trees. We're making lumberjacks out of people, male and female, and we're going in the woods and we're building log cabins, old log home style with the 1-2-1-2 where you're stacking on top of each other. And the CEO who's bringing us back, the man who's opened up a brand new facility in our new Washington State upper northeast province is none other than Bennett Pointer. And if I'm butchering your last name, I'm sorry, because you deserve so much more. But it's Pointer, so I'm saying Pointer. And Ben, you're pointing straight at my heart. And you're pointing right through me. And I feel naked, but I also feel validated. Like you see me for who I really am. And I thank you for it. I thank you deeply. You are amazing and beautiful soul. And I can't believe that you actually paid money to listen to us. Are you an idiot? We are terrible. What are you doing? But please keep sending the money. But thank you so much. You are wonderful. All of our patrons are wonderful, but you, Bennett, I'm looking at you. If you're listening to this right now, you need to go to the YouTube because I'm looking at you. I'm looking directly in the camera. Bennett, I love you. You have an amazing day. You are special. You are kind. You are awesome. And you mean a lot to us. So, mwah! Bennett. Thank you, Bennett. I'm not even Italian, but I like
got
spaghetti.
Italian there at the end.
Yes.
Awesome. If you'd like to support Epic Gaming Night, make sure to check us out at patreon.com/Epic Gaming Night. Awesome. Thanks, everybody, for joining us.
Yes.
Make sure to also check us out on Twitter and Instagram at Epic Gaming Night and at Writing Newman. And, hey, go over to at Shades of the Mind and tell Matt how much you miss him and how much you hope he gets better. Cause
yes, we need Matt to feel better and to get better. It's going bad here in North Carolina. I don't know where you guys are, but I said at the very beginning of the show, my daughter's school was closed down last week for 2 days because the flu had taken out half the school. So think of Matthew when you're cleaning your beards of the food and the particles of stuff that fell in there. Male and female beards, we all have them.
Hype. Awesome. Woo. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. Chat, you're the best, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
Also, pimples inside of your nose hurt the worst.
Bye.